Medical practice in the 20th century achieved historic success by focusing on the external threats of infectious disease. The deployment of antibiotics and vaccines directly extended the human lifespan, effectively neutralizing many of the world's most common pathogens. This era saw the rise of advanced surgery and intensive care units, creating an infrastructure designed to fix sudden bodily failures and acute trauma. This reactive model excelled at treating the acute problems it was built for, but it left the medical system without a strategy for the chronic metabolic conditions emerging today. Global healthcare is currently strained by a surge in chronic conditions that traditional reactive care cannot resolve. Non-communicable diseases now account for 75% of all deaths globally, shifting the burden of mortality away from infection and toward chronic illness. The metabolic scale of this crisis is most visible in diabetes rates, which now affect 1 in 9 adults worldwide. Managing hundreds of millions of chronic patients with lifelong medication has driven OECD health spending to nearly $6,000 per capita. This constant administrative and clinical volume contributes directly to global polypharmacy and widespread physician burnout. Because a reactive model only manages the symptoms of chronic disease, a systemic shift toward addressable root causes is now a biological and economic requirement. Lifestyle medicine functions as a rigorous clinical specialty, using therapeutic lifestyle changes as primary treatment modalities for chronic conditions. This approach carries institutional support from the World Health Organization and is built on data published in major medical journals. Data from the InterHeart study shows 9 modifiable lifestyle factors explain over 90% of global heart attack risk. By identifying diet, tobacco, and stress as primary drivers, it confirms cardiovascular risk is determined by patient choice, not genetic destiny. These findings remained consistent across 52 countries and every major ethnic group, establishing a universal link between behavior and heart disease. Since the majority of heart disease is modifiable, clinicians must transition from managing the progression of illness to preventing its onset. These massive population trends are ultimately driven by measurable, dynamic cellular changes that occur directly in response to our daily lifestyle interventions. The gut microbiome acts as a biological sensor, where dietary choices immediately alter microbial composition and host immune function. In a Stanford randomized trial, just 10 weeks of a fermented food diet increased microbial diversity and successfully lowered 19 inflammatory proteins. Lifestyle also modifies the epigenome through DNA methylation, essentially switching specific genes on or off based on exercise, diet, and stress. Research led by Dr. Dean Ornish showed that comprehensive lifestyle changes could alter the expression of over 500 genes within 3 months. These mechanisms mean patients possess the internal machinery to suppress disease-promoting genes and activate those that maintain health. The biological impact of these interventions is strong enough to reverse established clinical diagnoses. In the DIRECT trial, a structured lifestyle program achieved a 46% remission rate for type 2 diabetes after 1 year, with no pharmaceutical assistance. This influence extends to the next generation. A mother's prenatal lifestyle and uterine environment directly program the fetal epigenome. This early epigenetic programming determines a child's chronic disease risk across their entire lifespan. Lifestyle medicine addresses the immediate health of the patient while simultaneously building biological resilience for their offspring. Effective modern clinicians integrate these lifestyle interventions with traditional care to provide a comprehensive treatment model. Modern wearable technology and continuous physiological monitoring today allow for personalized lifestyle prescriptions that are predictive rather than reactive. This shifts the physician's focus toward addressing the biological root causes of illness rather than only suppressing its symptoms. Applying these precision tools to lifestyle behaviors provides a sustainable path for a healthcare system currently struggling with volume and cost. Clinical success in the coming decades will be measured by the total volume of disease prevented. Integrating these interventions allows the medical profession to focus on its original objective, the restoration and preservation of health. This foundational practice strengthens the essential relationship between dedicated clinicians and the families who rely on their continuing guidance.